Chris hit us up. He said, why do people just assume Ohio State can win a national title every year? My answer is because they can win a national title every year.
Lay hold of it. You lay hold of it. And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me. You will not destroy me. Some of you are so ignorant. You've been through so much hell. You gonna quit now? You should have quit 10 years ago. You should have been quit. You don't quit now. It's the 10th round. You got 2 more to go. And when you get to success, it's not about skill. When you get to a certain level of success, it's about stamina. It's about stamina. It's about you won't break me. You can't take me. It's too late now. It's too late. You should have broke me a long time ago. I'm unbreakable now. The only chance at this point is you gotta kill me. And you gotta kill me now. And then when you kill me, my legacy will live.
Wow, man. That helps wake you up in the morning. Good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. Q. Ohio State football is officially 2 days away. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm wondering when you have time to cut up these highlight tapes.
Well, in the middle of the night. So I wake up 10 minutes late for the show that we're contractually obligated to do.
I don't know where he pulled that from. That was the first time debut. I haven't even seen it. So, no, that was awesome, man. I'm good. I'm awake. I'm here. It was a little hard, but I got up. I worked till like 11:30 my time last night. So,
the grind never stops, man. Yeah. So I knew you had a late night working your actual job. Not your fictional one in the morning. So I figured, what better way to get the morning started than with an NBA YoungBoy instrumental at 5 a.m.
Neighbors think I'm actually insane.
But yeah, man, the Buckeyes play football in 2 days. We got plenty to talk about. There is college football on tonight. Q, where do you want to start?
Oh, man. So, first of all, let me give the first shout out in the chat who's in here before I was. Dylan, there we go. Gmo did not do it. Dylan, first one in the chat. Good morning. And he says, F Michigan as always. I agree with that. Shout out to Johnny, though. I know he's around here somewhere. Yeah, we'll start there. Also, do not forget, if you're on Twitter, make sure I'm in the right height. I won't be looking short or tall. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and hit that like, hit that repost. If you are in the community, go ahead and like it there as well. If you're not in the community, let us know. We'll get you in there. All that good stuff. And podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You have one of the two. You may not have both, but you got one. Give us a 5-star review in there. We would greatly appreciate it. There we go. All right, Ron, you got anything before I jump into it?
No, I was trying to get the link posted on Twitter, and then I heard you get stuck on Apple.
I couldn't get podcast.
You weren't lagging out.
Yeah, I started glitching. Yeah, I'm AI, y'all.
That's the new replacement. Actually, when Q's out, we actually are testing an AI Q that shows up in the show.
I greatly hope, greatly hope that you get that done sooner than later. I need that dude showing up all the time. Okay, so for pre-show, give Ron a minute. Also, too, for Saturday, we'll start it early. Give us your score predictions for Saturday. Well, obviously, we know Ohio State should come out and take care of business. So I want to see some score predictions in there.
Should come out and take care of business. They lose to Akron. This channel is over. So don't worry about checking for us Monday or Sunday. If we lose to Akron, find a new show because this one's done.
When I say come out, take care of business, I mean make it look good, make it look exciting. Like don't bore me. Like all the stops. That's what I want to see.
Bro, if we lose to Akron, Monday morning will be the first premiere episode of the Blue Devil Roast, and we'll be talking about Duke basketball from now on in the mornings. They better get it done.
Sounds good. All right, let's hop in the pre-show, man. All right, see, I got one in there, 56-7. There we go. All right, let's have the pre-show. So we talked about it yesterday. We talked about the or it wasn't yesterday, but we talked about the Branch brothers this week coming in and getting a deal. Well, a next big athlete gets a deal. Shedeur Sanders signs with Nike. You've seen the logo with him with the watch up, looking real clean. Ron, has the brand athlete race begin?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like any way that you can get a deal out here is a way to compete in college football. It is the era of NIL, and all of these deals are, I mean, these deals are kingmakers, and it'll be interesting to see if they're able to continue to get those deals at Colorado without Shedeur there, and Travis Hunter. Is Prime able to maintain that level of excitement around the program? Is he able to continue to land those deals for people that don't have his last name? Will be interesting to see. But I mean, it goes right back to what we were talking about as far as the shoe companies getting involved in the sport, and how involved will they be when they're competing with these teams. I mean, it's a Nike deal. I mean, obviously Oregon is the most closely related with Nike, and we hear that their bag is endless with Phil Knight. How long do these Nike dollars continue to flow to these other schools? I mean, it's always been interesting in the basketball sphere when you have multiple Nike schools competing for the same player, but we know that Nike's cutting the check regardless of where they're going. So it'll be interesting to see if Nike continues to give out these deals to players within the sport while they're doing these huge NIL deals at Oregon. I mean, I would imagine that Nike is a bigger priority than the University of Oregon football, and they're looking to grow the brand that benefits the company that makes all the money, not necessarily the school in front of the logo. So I would imagine Nike tightens their belt eventually, but I mean, it's cool to see Shedeur be able to partner with them, and then these shoe deals actually start rolling out to, I mean, it's not a shoe deal, but it's a Nike deal. But it's cool to see these brand deals start to roll out to the players.
Now, I wondered this, and I didn't know how to necessarily word this question, but we know how it is on the 7v7 circuit. The guys out there, and obviously Adidas, Under Armour, all these brands kind of get guys to come play for their teams. I wonder, does this open this up for that to kind of move to college, and Under Armour to say, hey, Travion Henderson, like, if you want to come to Texas Tech, we got a nice $4 million plan for you down here. If you want to come to one of our schools, does this open this up for now brand school recruiting?
I mean, I feel like it does. Why wouldn't they? If you're already branded, like, again, you see it in basketball. You see the Nike schools go after Nike kids. They get Nike deals early. I would imagine you see the same thing. How long until I saw a graphic online. It was a parody graphic, but it was about a player signing with Fat Farm. And it's like, how long until we see the Skechers deal, or someone's like signed with Shaq and they're wearing nothing but Shaqs? I mean, I feel like the door is officially open, and any way that people can get the money, they will. I think we'll see now that NIL is kind of solidified and people kind of know what the rules are as far as at the university. I feel like this is the year that we start seeing some of the more ridiculous brand deals. Someone like a brand deal with animal crackers or something goofy. We're going to see the ridiculous NIL deals this year now that people know how to operate within the rules. I mean, you saw DJU at a random convenience store this offseason for a gas station. You're going to see all kinds of commercials like that this year now that the landscape is kind of settled and people understand the official ways to go about doing it. So I think we'll start to see some of the more ridiculous promotions this season.
Tell you, this is what I need, especially because Punk is in here in the chat. Kevin Plank, wherever you are out there, obviously known. He came from Maryland, sponsors Maryland, all that good stuff. Kevin, I need you to take $50 million and go raid Georgia's roster. I need you to put $1 million on the line for every Georgia athlete, junior and under, that will come over to Maryland. I need to see it. I need to see this at work.
What What? Why did you just randomly turn this into the Terrapin roast? What is going on here?
It's just because they're Under Armour school. They're the Under Armour school. Obviously, they got to get in the game. So I said Texas Tech earlier. Come on, man.
You see the Maryland football team playing out there in Steph Curry's? Is that what you're looking for?
Don't disrespect them like that. They had cleats a long time before they had basketball shoes.
I know you didn't just say we had Under Armour cleats before we had Steph Curry, bro. Steph Curry's the greatest thing that ever happened to Under Armour.
Maryland basketball used to play in cleats, but that's what I need to see. Okay, so moving on with the news. Ron, I want to know, are you buying this story? So Colorado, who famously lost 42-6 to Oregon, has contacted the NCAA about Oregon having their practice film. Obviously, we are in the middle of a very high-profile cheating violation, all caused by Ryan Day's brother. But I want to ask you, are you buying that Oregon, who beat the hell out of Colorado, and Colorado had no chance in that game, regardless they had that practice film, their plays, everything. You buying that they stole Colorado's practice film?
I wouldn't put it past Dan Lanning. Just like he seemed like the most honorable coach. Like, he would never do that. I mean, if they're alleging it, there's possibly some truth to it. I definitely don't see Dan Lanning and say, hey, that's a guy that I don't think could do that. Do I think it's the reason why Oregon beat their ass? No. But I mean, Michigan didn't need Michigan State signs to beat Michigan State 49-0, but they still sent Connor Stallion to 5 fucking games. So I wouldn't put it past them. Clearly, we've seen teams in our own conference cheat when they don't have to, allegedly. I mean, they say they didn't have to, but who knows? We'll never know. They were out here cheating this whole damn time. So I wouldn't put it past them because we've seen teams cheat when they didn't need to cheat before. So why would Oregon be any different?
I don't know if I buy this. There's so much drama around Colorado just since Deion has got there. And I cannot imagine Dan Lanning looked at that Colorado State game where these fools almost lost in overtime and said, yo, we need to go get their practice film. we gotta watch out for these dudes.
They have a potential first-round quarterback. We've seen what happens when one NFL caliber player gets hot against a team that they can't figure out. I mean, shouts out to Rondell Moore.
I mean, yeah, but it's also, can he play tackle? Like the question we asked here at Ohio State, should Jordan play corner as well? Oh man, I don't know if I'm buying this, but chat, let me know. Are you buying this? Is Dan Lanning the top 5 coach in my poll early in the season? Is he a cheater? Did he follow we thought he learned from Kirby, but did he learn from Jim Harbaugh? Let me know on that one. Okay, so NIL evaluations. I thought this was a cool list. So Ron, I'm gonna give you the top 10 athletes according to their NIL evaluations, according to On3. So this is what they have. I'm starting number 1 and work my way down to 10. And you let me know, do these guys need to be shuffled? Do they need to be moved? Any surprise anybody left out there? Chat, also let me know. So at number 1, Shedeur Sanders. At number 2, Arch Manning. Number 3, Travis Hunter. Number 4, Jalen Milroe. Number 5, Quinn Ewers. Number 6, Carson Beck. Number 7, Evan Stewart. Number 8, Jackson Dart. Number 9, Dylan Gabriel. And number 10, Nico, I don't even know how you say it. Villanueva. That it? Did I get it?
No.
I can't say Nico. Let's go Nico. You know who I'm talking. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So that is your top 10. I read it again. Sanders at 1, Manning at 2, Hunter at 3, Milroe at 4, Ewers at 5, Beck at 6, Stewart at 7, Dart at 8, Gabriel at 9, Nico at 10. Ron, did they get this? Is this list like where you actually think these players rank as far as NIL evaluation? I can't say did they get it right.
No, I don't think there's 10 players in the country that are more valuable than the most valuable player on Ohio State. I think there's also multiple players on the Ohio State roster that'll probably crack that list by the end of the season. most notably the superstar freshman that people haven't had the opportunity to learn his name unless you follow college recruiting. You're starting to see the national media really jump on the bandwagon as far as the Jeremiah Smith hype, but I believe it's going to go through the roof once he finally starts catching passes. His rating starts going up in college football 24. I feel like that's something that's super discounted in what's going to affect people's star powers in college football this year. You see the Sellers kid at South Carolina that's been absolutely balling out on the game. It significantly increased his star power just because everyone used to playing with him on the game and they see him be a baller on the game. They're expecting that on the field. So I think the college football 25 and the ratings boost and just that game in general being back in pop culture is going to have a big effect on these people's stardom, especially now that everyone knows their name in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's 10 players worth more than the highest rated guy at Ohio State. The biggest surprise to me was Evan Stewart, but I mean he's a good player. He's out of Oregon now. He's probably got that Nike deal. But Ron, I'm gonna throw you some evaluations because I have them here and I didn't put on here, and I want you to let me know if they are accurate. So Shedeur Sanders, $4.7 million evaluation. Too high, too low, just right.
I mean, 4.7 seems high. I mean, you talk about the numbers that we hear. Some of the most ridiculous deals that we've heard in the NIL spaces haven't been much over $1 million a year. So to hear a guy valued at 4.7, I mean, I see Gojo in the chat saying too low.
What is he?
Do we think? Yeah, like, do we think he's going to out-earn $5 million this year? Like, what do you – let us know in the chat. What do you think the highest paid player in college football is going to be this year? If Shedeur Sanders has an NIL valuation of 4.7, Gojo says it's too low, what do you guys think the max earning potential is in a single season for a college football player? Do you think 4.7 is too high, too low? For a single year? That seems – way on the high end,
but Heisman level player is worth that, which I don't believe.
Heisman level player, it sounds like that's how much the fucking Heisman house costs.
The Heisman, it probably is. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Middle. I'm a Heisman house kind of big. Maybe it might be worth a little more than that.
I mean, depending on what state, if it's in California, that's a $30 million house.
Okay, you know what? I'm changing this up. I'm not going to tell you what On3 says. I'm going to name 3 players. I want you in the chat to let me know what they're worth. Ron, I will let you know if your number is higher, lower, or around what the evaluation is.
Oh, the price is right. I feel like I'm
all right, here you go.
Cool.
So, what do you think, you in the chat, Travis Hunter is worth?
What do I personally think, or what do I think the number is on that piece of paper?
No. What do you think? What do you think Travis Hunter is worth?
I would say $2 million.
Not bad. On3 has Travis Hunter at $2.7 million. So you're pretty close.
Do you think that 2.7 is accurate? Do you think he's worth that? Do you think college football players like you don't even have to put a name on it. What do you think the max value per year one of these kids can earn? Because I don't want to say worth, because in the name of NIL, whatever they can earn, they're worth. So, like, if someone's willing to pay you, you're worth it. Yeah. So, what do you think the max earning potential is for a player in a single year when you see these valuations from what you know around Ohio State deals? Because I find it hard to believe that there's more than 5 kids that have the ability to earn over $2.5 million in a single season. Am I off?
I mean, I would agree there. I think the ceiling is like actually what you're worth. It's like $3 million. Like I think like a Caleb Williams coming back after winning a Heisman, that's probably the max value around you'll get. I mean, unless you have like a Reggie Bush type player walk back into college football. So I say the ceiling is maybe $3 million, pushing maybe 3.5. So I think that's kind of silly. So the fact that Shedeur is worth 4.7, I mean, Shedeur is very polarizing. Does he move social media? Yes, he does. $4.7 million. Like, he's worth NFL players at this point. He's making the same as them, and not the ones at the bottom, like players who actually do something in the season and play. So I would say I would cap it at maybe 3.5 for the best handful of players in college football, and that's just going from $1 million to like 3.5.
With that ability to earn like that, do you think we could ever see a player that just says, yeah, my body hurts, I don't want to do this, I've made $12 million in college football, I'm not going to the NFL?
I can't see a player retiring, but I can see a player certainly staying in college football and being like, hey, I'm gonna play all 5 years. I got COVID, I'm playing 5 years, I'm taking my money and I'm rocking because I don't know if I'll make it to the NFL. I can definitely see that.
No Andrew Luck's in college, like, hey, I made my money.
Being a player walk,
I don't like getting tackled anymore. No,
I can't see a good player walking away early with only 4 years or really 5 years now to play. So I don't quite see that, but I can see a player like what's his name from Utah? What's the quarterback? I can't remember his name.
Cam Rising.
There we go. Cam Rising playing 7 years, and that man probably made more money than he will make in the NFL at Utah. So.
There's another guy that played 7 years, never got his college degree, and probably ain't going to be playing in the NFL much longer. Stetson Bennett's going to be trying to get NIL deals after the NFL. He's going to be signing NIL deals with car dealerships down in Athens after the NFL.
All right, I'm gonna throw one more out here so we can move forward for time before we talk about. Go change the graphic. NIL here on Buckeye. Okay, Dillon Gabriel. We'll go with Dillon Gabriel, 5th-year player. Obviously, been all over the place. Ron, what do you think Dillon Gabriel is worth?
$1.6 million.
Very close. $1.2 million for Dillon Gabriel.
See, look at me overpaying.
There you go. You're overpaying these athletes.
All this NIL talk got me talking like a fat pocket booster.
So we don't worry about the checks around here. All right, this is a good time. 22 minutes in. Everyone liked the video. All that good stuff. If you are on Twitter, hit that like and retweet and share it with somebody. Get somebody else in here. We are here every morning around 8-ish, I guess, for this morning a.m. So we'll be in here. Somebody needs help waking up, bring them on over. Okay. So Ron, I got some Ohio.
What are we gonna do if they need help waking up? We can't get ourselves up.
We need help. Tell them to call us. Start a group chat. Make this a team effort. So I got some Ohio State news for you. I'm pretty sure we missed this yesterday. I didn't talk about it because we had a lot of news coming out yesterday from Ryan Day. But the internet was set aflame yesterday because JJ is starting this season. Ron, are you surprised?
We literally talked about this yesterday, and I started it with breaking news. Jeremiah Smith is starting.
So I have a follow-up question for this, and this is why I asked this question. So for recruiting purposes, the number one player in the nation, number one receiver in South Florida, the best prospect since Megatron to come out of high school football. And I'm not talking Calvin Johnson. I'm talking the robot.
I was gonna say, I mean, better than Julian Fleming?
No. He's
okay. Let's not get carried away here.
We know this. So, for recruiting purposes, did Jeremiah Smith have to start the beginning of this season?
No. And he talked about it in his recruitment. He's talked about it in multiple videos that he said, Marv came here and didn't start. Why would I come here and start immediately? Nothing's going to be handed to me, and I'm going to have to come here and earn it. And Ryan Day has reiterated it multiple times about his work ethic and his maturity. He said he has an unusual level of maturity for a true freshman. So to see a kid come in with that work ethic paired with that talent, paired with that level of physical attributes as far as his height, his speed, his strength. I mean, we watched his body transform from the time that he got here from in January to what he looks like now. And he's been putting in the work since the day that he stepped into Columbus. So no, it's not really that much of a surprise that he's starting on top of the obvious talent. The work ethic and maturity and approach to the game that he's taken since arriving at Ohio State is one of the reasons that they trust him on the field, not just the fact that he's an alien when the ball is snapped.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Just thinking here, man. We talked about how Ohio State has played their true freshman receiver. We talked about Brandon Ennis, one catch, 70 yards, one TD last year. Carnell Tate, not really seeing him too much. And just down the line, I mean, again, Noah Rogers, he's at NC State right now because the walk
I'm
on.
glad you reminded me that I'm going to catch the NC State game on Saturday. How excited? Wait, how excited are you? I know this. I might be asking the wrong question, so let me wrong person this question. So guys, answer this for me in the chat as well. How excited are you guys to just watch college football on Saturday? Like Buckeyes aside, like the idea that like once we finished the pregame show, finished Bleacher Report, finished the appearances on Juck's postgame show, all of that wraps up, and it's still just 5 o'clock, and you just still have hours and hours of college football. How excited are you? Like we are 2 days away from sitting and watching college football for an entire day. I know you don't watch college football that much. I'm sure you're going to be out in these streets on Saturday enjoying your time off from talking Ohio State football in the morning. But the rest of us college football fans, we're going to be on the couch watching games. Q, I know you're not going to watch, but what games are you excited about this weekend outside of the Buckeyes?
Which games am I excited to check the box score on and act like I sat down and watched the whole game? I'm looking forward to that USC LSU game this weekend. I think it's on Monday, isn't it?
Pretty yes. Sure. Yeah, yes, okay. It is. So no work on Monday either. So no excuse.
So that is one. I'm looking forward to watching that one. And I am so hoping this Florida-Miami game is an upset. Please, Lord, please. I've seen what you've done for others. That's what I boy, if Miami loses to Florida on Saturday,
there's going to be no show Sunday because I'm going to be up editing Trolls for Miami for the next 4 days.
Shout out to Gmo if he's in here in the chat. I haven't seen him yet, but those two I'm looking forward to. Which ones are you looking forward to?
I mean, obviously those two. I saw Georgia, Clemson in the chat. There's no game in particular. Like I'm excited to like hear that like Rice and Old Dominion is in double overtime. Hurry up and get over to that game. Like literally any college football game, I am just ready to watch. I just not even one particular game. The entire Saturday experience of just sinking into the couch in front of the TV watching college football is what I'm most excited about.
Okay. No, that's fair. I can't wait for Saturday, man. I'm gonna be out at 9 a.m. Yeah, there we go. That's my
you see, Q? It's not about the football. It's the fact that he doesn't have to wake up, go to work, eat dinner before he goes out and hits these streets. Hey. Saturday mornings, he can just start pounding pavement at 9 a.m. and be out in these streets.
Hey, I'll rock it with my guy Travis right now. Box score Q. That's who I am, bro. That's who I am. If you defend me in the chat, we call them the box score boys.
No, we call them Q's Angels, but go ahead.
We got it. The box score boys outside today.
A little peek behind the curtain. It seems for the most part when me and Q start arguing on the show, the live chat, they're there with me. They're riding with me. They're like, what's Q talking about? And I get off the show and I'm like, I fucking cooked today. Like I was out there killing it. And then there's a segment of the fan base that watches this show that they don't watch it live. They watch it after, and they love Q. All Q's fans watch the show after we wrap up live. And then I get these notifications on my phone from what I call Q's Angels, the people that start off their messages with Ron's wrong. Q's always right. So that's why we call them Q's Angels, because everybody usually riding with me during the live show, and then his minions come out during the second half of the day and watch the show later in the day, and they got Q's back every day. So shout out to Q's Angels.
Oh man. Yeah, the fact that you believe I have fans is
I hate using that word because I don't think anyone's like, yo, you know what? I'm a big fan of Ron James.
No. You're the only person on at 8 a.m. God damn it.
Exactly. The word that should be used is supporters. I don't think anyone is like, yeah, we're fans. We're Ohio State fans, supporters of your show.
Hey, box score boys assemble. We outside today.
Well, that might have to be a merch piece. box score, boys.
Oh man. Okay. I got some over under fours. I want to make sure we got time. We have time to do those. So let me run through these real quick. I again don't believe. Man, I don't know. Yesterday was a blur for me because I actually worked for like 12 hours. Ron, did we
Oh,
talk
you don't
about?
be doing your job normally?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the one day I had to. Ron, did we talk about who was returning kicks and punts?
We did not.
Okay, there we go. I believe that one was new. So Jaden Ballard is returning kicks. Solid shot right there. And Ennis and Emeka Egbuka will split punts. Is this who you would have chosen? Or are you happy with the selection?
There was one too many people named. Brandon Ennis. That's it. We know Emeka can do it. He should be the backup. But get our guy BI back there. We've said it a million times. I feel like a broken record. He is the shiftiest. He is the hardest to tackle in space. He can make a guy miss. That's what punt return's about. So the fact that they have BI back there. And here's the thing. Emeka was not healthy last year, and I feel like it's not fair to truly judge him based off what we saw last year. He went out there, put his body on the line, even though he wasn't 100%, so it didn't necessarily look like that. So who knows? Emeka could come out here at punt return and ball out this year and look like a completely different person now that he's looking like healthy Emeka instead of thick Mecca, as Chris would call him. And the fact that he's able to get out there and move like he wasn't moving last year, I think that if it's not BI, I'm not mad at the decision to go with Emeka. So I'm excited to see it either way. But of course, our daily sponsored SFE segment, I want to see the SFE special teams depth chart. Give me Carnell Tate returning kicks. Give me Brandon Ennis returning punts.
All right, I'm with it. I obviously Jaden Ballard. We've known him to run 25 miles an hour while jogging. I'm very happy he's returning kicks this season. That's what I wanted to see. I thought he was going to be better at it than punt. He was better at punt than I actually thought he would be, but it wasn't that great. So, yeah, excited to see him at kick. And then Brandon Ennis, like I said, I'll go give Mylan Graham something to do. I don't need my starting receivers back there returning punts. They have enough to focus on, but he said he was going to give us a return this season. So his time is now. I'm expecting it. So, yeah, there we go with that. And one note, Jack Sawyer, don't believe we mentioned this, but I wanted to ask you this. So we talked about, this was his quote. He said, there's no ceiling to how good we can be this season, talking about the defense. He said, but said that doesn't mean a damn thing until the defense proves itself on the field. Ron, we had around the number one defense last year with Jim Knowles. We went back and loaded up on defense, brought everyone back, no real big losses, and even upgraded at positions. I want to ask you, we talk about the Ohio State 2019 defense. Jeff Hafley fed families with that, and he still is because people are still talking about it. Talked about that Georgia 2022/2023 defense. Talked about Bama, down a few years ago. I don't remember which one, but they had a good one every now and then. Where do you think this Ohio State defense at the end of the season is going to rank among the recently great defenses we've seen in college football?
I need to see them rank high above the current teams they're playing against before I put them all time. The one thing, as you were starting to talk about the 2019 defense that I was thinking about was like, who's the Chase Young on this team? And I mean, obviously we don't have necessarily that disruptor on the edge, but is Caleb Downs that level of talent at safety? Maybe, but is he able to impact the game the same way Chase Young was, as close as he was to the line of scrimmage? I'm not sure. So do I think this could be a generational defense? Possibly, but I need to see them go out there and perform as a unit together. I mean, we have a lot of returning pieces, but we also are adding new people, and we've seen, some of our struggles in the past. So I want to see this team lock in together before I start making grandiose predictions as far as where they rank generationally. But I do think that by the end of the season, they could be in that conversation if they are able to perform to the caliber that we expect them to with all of the talent that they have on paper, in addition to all of the returning guys. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I want to pump the brakes and see it. Like, I want to see a goose egg against Akron before I start talking about where they rank historically in college football.
Yeah, so I asked for Georgia, it was 2021, 2022. I obviously remember that defense. And Johnny said I got to mention the Michigan 2023 defense. So since he's in the chat, I'll mention those guys as well. I think, honestly,
That defense almost lost to Kyle McCord, but continue.
We digress. Honestly, I think this defense is a good pass rush away from being up there with those defenses. Like you said, we don't want to crown them yet. We want them to go out and play ball, but really it is. I think it is on Jack Sawyer, JT, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, and all those guys to give. If they can get after the passer, I think this defense will be talked about up there with those greats. And then at the end of the season, we can rank them.
The chat is cracking me up. Come on, Ronald. We supposed to be telling lies out here. The next comment, facts, Ron.
Oh, man. You heard it here first. Ravens 2002 defense. Okay. All right. So I want to get to these over and unders. We had a
wait. No. I'm looking at the show notes. What the hell are you doing? You cut me completely out of the show.
Did I really?
Yeah, you had a whole segment written in there.
It's not on mine. That's it.
It's not on there because you took it out.
Oh, my God.
I was typing in the document at the same time as you this morning. It's the entire cover
I thought you were
the
talking
show.
About, go ahead. Go ahead. Hurry up, man. Get to the over-unders now. Go ahead.
The question for you, Q, we're 2 days away from the game. Who was the best number 2 in Ohio State history?
Oh, I did cut you out of the show notes. I thought that was like, I thought you were trying to go somewhere else because we were writing down, we're getting through our ideas. And I was like, yo, I got this. And Ron was like, I don't know. And I was like, no, I got it. So my bad on that one.
Literally, me and Q were on the phone this morning, like, oh, what do you got right? And we're both typing in the document at the same time while we're on the phone. I was like, look, I gotta go. I'm brushing my teeth, and I'll be in the studio. I just put my segment in there. I come in here, I open the show document, and Q completely removed the segment that I wrote. So, despite your best efforts to cut me out of the show, Q, tell me who the best number 2 is in Ohio State history.
All right, my bad on that one. Chat, let me know who's the best number 2 if you are an Ohio State fan. Put in those players from other schools.
Yeah, tell me the best number 2 on your team if you're 2 days away from playing, if you're not an Ohio State fan.
All right, man, the best number 2. So the throwback me wants to say Chris Carter. You know, he was the guy. He was the wide receiver back in the day. He's the guy everybody talks about being at the Mount Rushmore at Ohio State. But I mean, I can't go any place other than Chase Young. I mean, after the seasons he's had. That's my favorite number 2 of all time. I can't go anywhere past.
Enough of that bullshit. There's only one right answer, and it's Whippeal legend Terrell Pryor. Number 1. Give my man his fucking wins back. Terrell Pryor, the best number 2 in Ohio State history. Every other answer is wrong. They honestly should have retired his number if he wasn't suspended, bro. How the hell did you not pick a Whippeal legend? You know, if there is a multiple choice question, like if you're taking the SATs and you got to guess B, if there's a Whippeal person, the correct answer is the guy from Western Pennsylvania, Terrell Pryor. No, you're not going?
No. Ron will no longer have segments on this show. It will be written out of every single line. No, Terrell Pryor is not the right answer. But he was a great at number 2.
Fine. We'll take Terrell Pryor out of it. Coin flip, you're going with Chase Young. I mean, there were 2 number 2s on that team. One of them went to New York for the Heisman. The other one ran for 2,000 yards. Like, think about that.
Good year 2. I was saying, Mecca and Downs, y'all got work to do this season. So,
oh, that's a better duo. Dobbins and Chase Young, Mecca and Downs.
So yeah, next. Yeah, I'm not even entertaining.
You don't have Mecca and Caleb Downs both in New York for the Heisman this year.
But Mecca is as good as either. No, he's not going to be Chase Young. So let's sum it out.
I mean, if we have a generational pass rusher playing wide receiver in our loaded wide receiver room, I'm going to be pretty upset with Larry Johnson.
Downs ran for 2,000 yards. Mecca's not even going to catch for 1,500. What are we talking about? He gets to get 10 yards downfield before anybody can even touch him legally besides a press. He's not going to go for 2K. So what are we talking about?
I just had to check. Right.
Now to over and unders.
All right. I appreciate you guys joining us today. Let the people know where they can find you. Forget your segments.
All right, y'all. So we had a lot of fun with this last season. So I have a few for you, and I have a few in here for fun. So I want to run through these, and I'll probably bring some more back for tomorrow. We got our guy Pat in here because I promised to give him some. So these are my over-under. So I'm going to start with your guy in chat. Let me know, are we going over? Are we going under? Jeremiah Smith.
Over.
The freshman phenom. Over under 7.5 touchdowns this season.
Oh, I thought you were saying Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Over 8 touchdowns Saturday. I'm gonna go over. Over 8 touchdowns. How many did Marv have last year? I'm gonna go look that up.
Yeah, I will go over. I think Jeremiah Smith will be a problem in the red zone, obviously, and he's starting, man. I think it's going to be a good balance of touchdowns between our starting receivers. I say, what did Marv have last year?
Marv had last year. I am struggling to find the stats because rushing stats came up first, and then defensive stats, for defensive end Marvin Harrison Jr. What's our next over-under? I'll circle back with these stats.
Okay, I got this one for you. Over-under 2,400 yards for our starting combo of running backs. That will put them around 1,200 each. If they go off this season, Chip Kelly, he's running the offensive line, he's running the game, 60-40 run. Do you think together one of them can go off and then get over 2,400 yards?
Absolutely. Pounding the over there.
All right, 2,400 yards over under chat. Let me know. That's a lot, man, but I might go a little under 2,400. I think they'll probably be in the range of 22, 23. And again, we're doing this for the regular season, not all in playoffs and 12 and 15 games later. Regular season for these stats, I should have mentioned that before. So Ron's going under. Ron's going over. I'm going under. All right, another SFE sponsored player, Brandon Ennis.
Oh, I found it. For some reason, I went to 3 different sites that tried to tell me that Marvin Harrison Jr. had 1 touchdown. And I'm like, hey, I watched the Michigan State game yesterday. I know he had more than 1 touchdown. He had 14 last season. 14 touchdowns for Marv. So, 7.5, I think over safe with Jeremiah there.
All right, there you go. All right, another SFE guy, Brandon Ennis. Over under 28.5 catches this
Over.
Season.
Over.
Nice.
He needs 30 catches or we riot. I believe Xavier Johnson had right around 30 last year. So if he doesn't beat that, we got a problem.
Okay. All right, I got this one for you. Quinshon Judkins. Over under 2.5 game-breaking spin moves this season.
I'm going under. I feel like that's more of a video game thing than it is a real life thing. I feel like we're more likely to get a game-breaking spin move off of someone else on the roster. It's kind of a weird superpower to give a player that, have you seen any memorable spin moves from Quinshon Judkins in the highlights that you've watched?
Yeah, he had one at Ole Miss that everyone plays. It's like the one highlight. If you search, you'll find it. But yeah,
he did have one. Is it crazier than? It's no Braxton Miller. That's what I'm saying. Like at Ole Miss, that's a spin move highlight. We have remember the phrase, the standard's the standard. We know what the standard spin move looks like around here.
Yeah. We got a Becca spinning in the tackles.
Stop it.
For no reason. Oh, man. Okay, there you go. Game breaking spin moves. I'm riding with the over. I think there will be at least three this season. 2 against.
Wait, could you imagine that being an actual ticket at the sports book? Like you're sitting there arguing at the window, like that was game breaking. They're like, no, sir. It was a draw play on 3rd and 15, and he got 9 yards. That's not a game breaking spin move.
Yeah, I started writing these down, and they were very serious. And then I was like, nah, I kind of want to have fun with these and just start throwing out random things. Okay, all right, moving on. Oh, I got one more for you. We'll save it for tomorrow. We'll save this one for tomorrow. All right, JTT over under 1.5 Penn State level games this season.
I'm going over. I think we're going to get at least 3 Penn State level games from JTT this year. It's something that he talked about. I feel like this defense is really going to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. Now that Jim Knowles can really get in his bag, he talks about the multiplicity of all of the different players on defense that can play in different spots. They said they don't really use the safety terms anymore because those guys are pretty much used interchangeably back there now. So if Jim Knowles isn't able to scheme up something that gets JTT loose, I think we'll have a problem on defense.
All right, there you go. You heard it here first. I will go the over as well. I need JT to be a top 2 round pick, hopefully at the end of the first round, just for Ohio State recruiting purposes. So need that to happen. Okay. His counterpart, Jack Sawyer, who everybody talks about, will lead the team in sacks this season. Jack Sawyer, over under 10.5 sacks for Ohio State.
Bro, I don't think in the existence of us knowing each other, we've had a single Ohio State defender over double-digit sacks. So I'm going no. Like 10.5? What are we talking about? No.
It's a lot of hype. He lost weight.
Man, people have been playing at college football 25 on freshmen too long. We're coming up with these over-unders.
Bro, Rod has all this time. It's talking about lying season. Going in before Ohio State kicks off. We do the over-unders before the season. Now you want to tell the truth?
I mean, I'm trying to beat you.
You heard it here first.
We're trying to lie. If there was no competition around this, I'd be telling the truth. I mean, I wouldn't be telling the truth. To lie. But you said, let's have an over-under competition. So I'm going to out here be truthful so I can beat your ass and be like, hey, look at Q. He doesn't know shit. Don't follow him on this show. Listen to me. Listen to all my over-unders. I got them all right. I know the team way better than him.
That'd be over. All right. More defense. Caleb Downs. This was an interesting one that I seen out there. Over under 4.5 turnovers created this season.
Ooh,
that's
fumbles,
interceptions, 4.5. What are you doing?
I'm going to go over.
Okay. Here we go. Chat, let me know. Is he over under? I think he will be over. I think he'd be around that 5 mark.
More interceptions or more fumbles forced?
I would say maybe like 4 interceptions, maybe 2 fumbles. I think he can do it. I think he's playing that Josh Proctor role. He's free range and flying all over the field. And the patented Josh Proctor role. They don't call it the bullet. They call it the Proctor position. Get your ass back up here. Yes, the Josh Proctor role.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Silly season is in March. We're 2 days away from the game. And you're comparing Caleb Downs to Josh Proctor. And you know I'm a Proctor fan, but what are we doing? What are we doing?
Moving on.
Thank you.
Ohio State defense. I got a couple more for you. We get out of here. Ohio State defense over under 4.5 touchdowns this season.
Under. I think 3. I'd be happy with 3.
I'd be happy with 2. But I'm gonna go under as well. I like that 4 mark. We have 4 defensive touchdowns. I will be a very happy person. I thought 4.5 is a little high, but the defense is very good.
Does the defense score on Saturday?
Yes. Somebody on defense will score. I need buckets. Brutus Award nominee.
Touchdown. Book it.
Brutus Award nominee CJ Hicks pick 6 Saturday. You heard it here first. Okay.
Oh no! How about this one, Q? Who gets the first pick 6 of the season?
Jordan Hancock.
Ooh, good pick. I'm going with Jordan Matthews. Jermaine Matthews.
We'll do it again. Okay. All right. This one is very important. Brandon Ennis told us he was going to return a punt this season and finally break that record, break that streak of no returns for TDs. So Ohio State as a total kick and punt over under 1.5 TD returns this season. Brandon Ennis is getting us 1. What are you doing? Are we over? We under?
Saw someone in the chat say that JB's on kick returns, so I'm going under. 1 punt return for Brandon.
And I like it too.
No. We're going over. We're going over because someone's going to accidentally kick the ball to Carnell Tate, and it'll be the biggest mistake that they make on special teams this year. We are going to get over. Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis both returned kicks this year. One a punt, one a kick. Book it. SFE approved here.
There you go. You heard it. You heard it here first. Our daily sponsor. Okay, Ron, this is interesting what I got for you. We talked about the trash talk with the wide receivers, the DBs, the culture change, all of that good stuff. Ohio State this regular season, over under 1.5 scuffles on the field this season. It's got to be one in the Michigan game. That gets us to one. It's got to. You lost 3 times. You better go out there and fight somebody. Some backup get kicked out. 1.5. We go over under.
I'm going under. I'm going under, bro. We're not a scuffle team. And we don't play Rutgers. If Rutgers might get Ryan Day off the sidelines, him and Shiano having a shouting match from the hashes. But no, I don't think we see any scuffles. Shout out to the Whippeal, by the way. I went to a high school football game this past weekend, and a fucking fight broke out on the field, and they had offsetting personal fouls and just kept playing the game as people were throwing punches the play before. So shout out to the Whippeal refs for letting them just brawl on the field.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna pull some over for tomorrow while we have Patty here so we can have some fun. But this is my last one. This one for the chats. Everybody pay attention.
Over under 2 minutes late for work.
Okay, this is the last one.
Smash the over.
Arvell Reese over under 1.5 Heisman's this season.
Smash the over. Arvell Reese 2 Heisman's.
There we go.
Over under 2.5 Bugattis bought by Q after he sells all his Arvell Reese stock once it goes to the moon.
There we go. Bet the over.
Forget Dogecoin. Grab Arvell Reese stock. This is not financial advice, but go do it.
There you go. You heard it here first. Bet the over on the 1.5. All right. I'll save some more for tomorrow, but I thought those would be fun. We had a good time with them last year. Chat, y'all came through. Appreciate you coming through. If you podcast, put it down in the chat. Let people know where to find you at. People can find us or me at City Boy Quentin on Twitter. Again, Instagram, Flight at Johnson, TikTok, Flight at Johnson, Minor League Films. If you are into movies here on YouTube, hit the community, like that video, retweet all that on Twitter. Ron, get us out of here.
Yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2Ts2_TES. You can find me here weekdays at 8 a.m. for the Buckeye Roast. You can find me Saturday on the Menace Sports platform at 10 a.m. with Chris Drew for the best damn college football pregame show. So if you don't enjoy game day, if you need another watch in the morning, check us out there. Then make sure you download the Bleacher Report app because we will be in there for an instant reaction on Saturday immediately after the game. So if you want our hot takes right after the game, make sure that you are in the Bleacher Report app. And then, of course, Sunday, we are here for Buck IBS with our guys Mike and Cam. If you missed the Fans Edge last night, we had Terry on the platform with Mike. They did a great job. So if you didn't catch that episode, make sure you check that out right after this on the channel. It's the video before this. So if you haven't checked out the Fans Edge, make sure you check that out. My computer is dying. I'm late for work. Q, do you have anything before we get out of here?
I'm good. Arvell Reese over 2.5 Heisman this season.
Arvell Reese, 4 Heismans this season. Find it at your local sports books where they allow you to do player props in college. We appreciate you tuning into the Buckeye Roast this morning. 2 days until the Buckeyes play football. It's always go Bucks and OH.
I-O.
Come on,